Alright, so what we're going to look at is how we can deduce a graph just from the information that we're given. So while I'm making this video, I'm going to pop back to this green box that we have here. Okay, so this should be the information that you really need to know. And if we look at the top box here that I'm circling with my mouse now, so it has the general form of the quadratic, x take p and x take q, and it just says that p and q are going to be our roots. And if a is positive, it's going to face upwards, but if a is a negative number, it's going to face downwards. Okay, so a is positive, it has a minimum point. If a is negative, it's going to have a maximum point. The axis of symmetry is x equals p plus q on 2. Alright, that just means p plus q divided by 2, the midpoint of those two lines. And as vertex, the vertex obviously has the x coordinate at the axis of symmetry. So if we go back to this one, alright, we've got a function that has one intercept. Now, to figure out the intercepts, we say, what are we putting in here to make this equal to 0? Okay, because on the Cartesian plane, the x-intercepts occur when y is equal to 0. So what are we putting in there to make y equal to 0? Well, the first answer is positive 4. Okay, and what are we putting in this one to make that factor equal to 0? The answer is minus 2. Okay, so it goes through these points. So an approximate sketch of the graph is, now because a is positive, or there's no negative out the front of it, we know that it's going to face upwards. So it's going to look something like this. Okay, and you can check that using your calculator. If we were asked to determine the axis of symmetry of this point, okay, it just asks for the midpoint. What's the midpoint between here and here? What's the midpoint between minus 2 and 4? And the way you do that is just add them together and divide by 2. Minus 2 plus 4 is 2, divided by 2 is 1. Okay, so therefore the axis of symmetry is x equals 1. Now what that actually means is that when x is equal to 1, the function is symmetric about that point, x equals 1. Okay, my drawing's a bit shabby, but that's what we can see from that. Okay, if we look at the second example, alright, I'll just do the first part for this one. Again, we're saying, what do we put into the factors that makes it equal to 0? So in the first instance, you would put 4 in there. So again, positive 4. And again, into the second factor, you're putting minus 2. Now, the only different part here is that we have a negative out the front. Okay. Now, from this table here, again, this is another one you'll need to write down. As we can see, if a is greater than 0, we have a concave upward shape where it has a minimum point, and if a is less than 0, we have a concave down shape, okay, or a maximum point. So here, a, this number at the front is negative 1, which is less than 0, which means it's going to face downwards. It's going to have a maximum point, so it's going to look like this. Okay, and again, we can use the same method to determine what the axis of symmetry is. Okay, further down the page, use the vertex or the axis of